the international community.
The House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill to amend the Proceeds of Crime Act 2022 to provide a unified legal framework for the recovery, management and disposal of proceeds of crime in Nigeria. The bill is proposing several amendments which include protecting the rights of the whistleblower.
It will recognize virtual assets and digital proceeds of crime by establishing a national confiscated wallet for the virtual asset to be managed by the Central Bank of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It will equally provide for whistleblower and witness protection mechanisms.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says Nigeria is a tolerant country when it comes to religion, and called on the global community to ignore the negative narratives by alleged criminal elements about the country's security. The minister was a guest on CNN and re-echoed the efforts of the government within the last 2 years in securing lives and properties.
Nigeria is working hard. The government of Nigeria is working hard to ensure protection of lives and properties, and also ensuring that people go about their businesses the world over. Some of the claims made by some officials in the United States is based on faulty data. Some of them, on some assumptions that the victims of this religious violence are largely Christian. Yes, there are Christians that have been attacked, but these criminals do not just target one religion. They target Christians. Yeah. They also target Muslims. We have seen that in several parts of, especially the northern part of the country. So yes, indeed, we have security challenges in Nigeria, but we also have to recognize that there is a massive drive by government to ensure that Nigeria is ultimately safe for everyone. But for the records, we want to say that Nigeria is a very tolerant country when it comes to religion. We don't want these dangerous narratives to go on, because criminal elements and some of these extremists are driving this narrative and pushing people to believe that Nigerian Muslims and Christians are fighting each other. This is not the case.
To what could be best described as frank talk on how best to manage Nigeria's scarce resources by top Nigerian economists and financial administrators came to the front burner at the Oxford Think Tank Leadership Conference 2025 in Abuja. Minister of Finance Wale Edun says the economy is on a growth trajectory.
The improved growth rate, the stable exchange rate, the lowering inflation, those are just one side of the story. And the most important aspect is the human side.
And that's the news for now. Good Morning Nigeria continues with Claire and Ademola after this break. Thanks for joining us.
The renewed hope initiative Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow. This national competition is in 3 categories. The household category is a tree planting competition amongst 11 frontline states in northern Nigeria. Each participating household in Adamawa, Borno, Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, Yobe and Zamfara states will plant a minimum of 1 tree to qualify, with a video evidence of before and after the tree planting exercise. 20 million naira will be awarded to the best household. Submission deadline is 20th December 2026. Community category will see local governments, local communities, schools and NGOs reclaim and transform degraded or abandoned areas such as dump sites, landfills, parks and their likes into green, vibrant gardens, parks and eco-friendly spaces. 50 million naira would be awarded to the overall best community group. Deadline for submission is 15th July 2026. State category will have all states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, excluding Enugu State, have a chance to address the growing threats to environmental sustainability and cleanliness. States will be judged based on the number of trees planted on major roads and inner streets and how clean they are. 100 million naira will be awarded to the best performing state. Already, Enugu State has 100 million naira for being RHI's model green state due to its greenery and cleanliness. Video evidence must be submitted by participating states on or before 20th December 2026. All entries must be directed to RHI Office, State House, Abuja, or email rhi.greenchallenge@statehouse.gov.ng. RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow.
Afenifere, the Pan-Yoruba organization, in partnership with the Dawn Commission, invites you to a historic citizen and stakeholders dialogue, a gathering to strengthen our democracy, reflect on our progress, and chart a brighter and more united future for the Southwest. Join us 9 a.m. on Wednesday, October 29th and Thursday, October 30th, 2025 at the Dome, ICEC, Akure, Ondo State. All Southwest governors, National Assembly members from the Southwest, State Assembly members, traditional rulers, religious leaders, market leaders, women, and youth groups, as well as members of the press, are cordially invited. Host Governor, His Excellency Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, Governor of Ondo State. Please note that this is a non-partisan summit where ministers and other senior officials, federal and state governments will present scorecards to Yoruba leaders. To participate, simply send a text message to 0701-3130-764. This message is proudly brought to you by the Dawn Commission. Dawn Commission, building the Southwest of our dreams.
Milo 3-in-1 Milky and Creamy is truly milky and contains calcium. So, no need to add milk for that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish your kids.
For an exclusive 3-time skin effect, try Nivea Men Deep powered by black carbon. For 48-hour deep moisture, a fresh skin feel, and a long-lasting masculine fragrance. Make an impact with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion. Try Nivea Men Deep Roll-On for 72-hour antibacterial sweat protection.
Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet comes with the nutrients they need every day. Made from natural grains, contains protein and fortified with iron to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja. The city is moving. New voices, heavy drip, all heart. From the streets to the stage, this is the next Afrobeat star.
What are we here for? Let's Afrobeat star. Let's get nasty.
And the talents from all over showed up to own the room. But they're not alone.
Spiritual. Gospel.
All chasing a slot to face the judges. Puffy T, SARS, Andre Vibes, P Pride. Catch next Afrobeat star on.
What wakes you up in the morning? Is it the sunrise? Is it the alarm? No. It's your dream that wakes you every day. It's what drives you like a powerful engine. That's why you start strong every day with the rich, creamy taste of Nescafe 3-in-1, carefully crafted from selected coffee beans. You're on your hustle, and you won't stop until you succeed. Start strong, finish strong.
You have no better friend and partner than Nigeria. Let this unveiling today be a call to conscience. Let our practitioners hold the line of truth. To the media, please inform with integrity and with a deep sense of patriotism. To our public officers, communicate with transparency. To citizens, please let us speak with empathy. Let us come together to become the voice of responsibility, the voice of the world that heals division, that inspires hope and drives development.
Welcome back to the program. It's Good Morning Nigeria Live on the network service. In a short while, I'll be joined by Chukwudi Okole Ugbaja, aka Chucks the Boy, for newspaper review.
Well, our newspaper reviewer Chukwudi Okole Ugbaja is here. Good morning, Chucks.
Morning, Demola. Claire, thanks for refueling my braggadocio, my zeal, my gusto, my what again? You know, whatever positive thing. You called me Chucks the Boy after a long time. I feel good.
All right, thank you. So let's quickly take the Daily Times. The Daily Times is leading with, of course, security matters in the upcoming Anambra governorship election. And it says that 45,000 police officers will be deployed to Anambra governorship election to secure that election. It's right there on the front page. And you have, of course, the picture story there that's with the president and chief of staff and other foreign dignitaries right there. Now, VAT states to earn 4 trillion naira more annually from 2026. That's Oyedele, and U.S. revokes Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka's visa. Now, Senate to screen new service chips today, and federal government prioritizes made in Nigeria goods for ECOWAS free trade liberalization scheme. I thought, Chukwudi, I thought you could look at, well, maybe that, which is very important, prioritizing made in Nigeria goods for the ECOWAS free trade liberalization scheme. You know, that's quite...
Yeah, I tell you, there's no way you cannot depend on your environment to survive. You know, no man is an island. But the point is that till you become self-serving in positive terms, to some extent, you don't really become economically independent to a large extent as well. So when you talk about things like this, it only goes to suggest that a more stable economic platform is being created, you know, within the sub-region for people to now begin to realize their dreams in terms of not just bettering self, but leading to better infrastructure, better education and the rest of it. So it is quite something to be saluted if we engage action that will take us out of the doldrums, as it were.
Honestly, I think that's good, but we also need to come up with, you know, a list of those made in Nigeria goods. I don't know if the paper has, you know, a list of those goods within the center page.
I spoke generally. Made in Nigeria goods means that you're not spending money on importation. That's what it means.
Yes.
That's just a segment
just to
of
cover
it.
that.
I spoke generally. Otherwise, made in Nigeria goods would be the ultimate for us. There's no way you're going to divorce yourself from interacting with the environment, the external world. But when you can self-support reasonably.
Good. Two stories before there were like two stories. The one is just a little above the lead story on Anambra. Nigeria imposes how much now? 11.5 security levy on international flight tickets, and the other is by the foreign minister. The federal government vows strict vetting as 170 foreigners applied for Nigerian citizenship.
Well, I don't know. Are we responding to what some people are doing to us in the world? Or is this being done as a way of shoring up revenue? Remember that the new taxation regime will kick in from 2026. Government targets more revenue. As I said the other time, it is not money from Texas that government actually depends on to run the state of Texas. It is actually tax that brings money to Germans, to the UK people, to Americans, and the rest of it. That's where Nigeria is trying to go to. Then my last complaint is, the one that they give me no reach. This tax matter, I like it, but do I really have enough money to give? Incidentally, your pay as you earn puts you there automatically, so you don't have a choice. You know.
I don't say. Is there a nexus between the strict vetting of foreigners who are applying for Nigerian citizenship with the revocation of Wole Soyinka's,
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think
Wole
so.
Soyinka spoke up. I saw somewhere he was saying why my visa was revoked. I didn't quite read it. But I know that Wole Soyinka, after some of the things Trump was doing over there.
I think what he said was because in 2016, I think he made a statement against the Trump's election there.
He did.
Being racist or something like that. So maybe
he did, but the latest is, I think he said that about 2 months ago, that he was not going to go back to have his visa revalidated.
No, yeah,
he saw that as an insult. For crying out loud, the court can give you bail on self-recognition. Somebody like Wole Soyinka, for crying out loud. No, come on. Sometimes people cross the line. And I am really in support of his action. You need to make a statement sometimes in life, however feeble it would seem to some people. You know.
Okay, all right. Are you done with your?
Okay, except you want us to talk. I was going to leave the Anambra elections last.
Okay. Okay. It's. I mean, that's the major headline on this Blueprint newspaper as well, and we have 107 Blueprint newspaper. Just above the nameplate, 170 foreign nationals applied to become Nigerian citizens. Wow, good. Anambra gubernatorial election, INEC security agencies plot against election riggers, vote buyers, police to deploy 45,000 operatives. INEC readies with 24,000 personnel. Delay in fuel subsidy removal, cause of current hardship. Emir Sanusi, reform gains already touching the poor, vulnerable. That is the Minister of Finance. That's Wali Adu. Rising foreign reserves signal Nigeria's recovery path.
Yes.
A report. Turn to page 8. You want to comment on this?
Which of them now?
Delay in fuel subsidy removal, cause of current hardship.
You know, Sanusi would always come across as the gadfly. You know, he speaks independently, and he does speak factually sometimes within what I know. I don't know the economics he knows.
What are you saying sometimes?
Because I can only judge what he has said that is easy for me to comprehend.
Okay.
His economics is far higher than the O-level Adam Smith I took away. You understand?
The higher the price.
Yes. Price is the meeting point of demand and supply. And you said that with your chest pushed out, as if you have said something bigger than what God would put down in the world. Anyway, the point is this. The question I ask, why didn't we then remove it earlier? Right from Jonathan's time. Remember 2012 and all that. Let's not start a fight again, and you know. But the president said something the other time that fuel subsidy was actually a scam. So when Sanusi is saying they should have removed it
long
earlier,
ago,
you know, is it remove it from scammers or remove it from actuality of is being paid to subsidize fuel? We need to know those details. But we are happy that eventually we seem to be taking it in our stride. Because initially when it happened, particularly as it also happened with the floating of the foreign exchange, we groaned expectedly. But it seems to be easing.
I just want to point out that I just read the first paragraph of that story. The emir, I don't think the emir is trying to fault, the present administration.
I'm not a mind reader.
No. He said,
that direction.
he said, the cumulative consequences of its failure to remove fuel subsidy more than a decade ago. So what we are going through now is the failure of what we would have done decades ago.
Long ago.
But Edu is also saying that regardless, that the gains, are beginning to be visible, that it's touching the poor and the vulnerable.
Yes.
We're talking about some of those social safety nets that have been put in place. And of course, what our economy is doing now is bouncing back.
It's understandable.
And the forex is rising.
It is rising.
Yes,
it is rising. You would speak naturally to make the president and the minister, finance, make them happy, know that they are doing well. But trust Sanusi, he also went on to say, don't just reform, cut waste and the rest of it, challenge leaders on accountability, economic discipline. It depends on the angle an editor wants to take.
Precisely.
All right.
So let's.
You're doing well, Chooks. You're doing very well.
Demola, please, Demola, please. Don't let him. Just one second.
Quickly.
Yes. Anambra election. The barring vigilantes, non-state actors, and police to deploy 45,000 operatives. INEC readies 24,000 personnel. Just speak to this with the hindsight of what usually happens, in the Southeast during elections.
Yes, the point is that most of the time these things are rehashed before elections. When I hear people say Anambra is going to be a litmus test for what will happen in 2027, I said that is just a little segment, a little tiny segment of it. The greater Nigeria is bigger. At the end of the day, let us have electoral reforms well ahead of time. It is at the root of every other thing. Then you will now expect implementation of what the lawmakers have ratified and the president has signed.
The question is...
Yes, sir.
Anyway, we are signing off.
You were signing him off.
He was going to break his own resolve.
We'll discuss it. All right, we'll take a break now. When we return, the issue of cybersecurity is our focus. Stay with us.
Nevertheless, we must come to terms with existential reputational threats to our national brand, in which external purveyors of untruths are mischaracterizing our nation as a destination for a so-called persecution of people based on their religious faith. This is a propaganda externally woven by those who want to break or weaken our unity. For the umpteenth time, I'm emphatic that there is no iota of truth in the communication that is out there, that there is a deliberate, calculated effort where one particular religion is targeted for extermination. I therefore urge us to use the instruments of public relations crafted in truths and facts to vehemently reject this single despicable narrative about Nigeria. It is incumbent on all of us to unite in a voice that will ensure that Nigeria is indeed a country that is anchored on the freedom for everyone to practice his or her religion. In any case, that is what our Constitution stipulates.
Afenifere, the Pan-Yoruba organization, in partnership with the Dawn Commission, invites you to a historic citizen and stakeholders dialogue, a gathering to strengthen our democracy, reflect on our progress, and chart a brighter and more united future for the Southwest. Join us 9 a.m. on Wednesday, October 29th and Thursday, October 30th, 2025 at the Dome, ICEC, Akure, Ondo State. All Southwest governors, National Assembly members from the Southwest, State Assembly members, traditional rulers, religious leaders, market leaders, women, and youth groups are as well as members of the press are cordially invited. Host Governor, His Excellency Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, Governor of Ondo State. Please note that this is a non-partisan summit where ministers and other senior officials, federal and state governments will present scorecards to Yoruba leaders. To participate, simply send a text message to 0701 3130 764. This message is proudly brought to you by the Dawn Commission. Dawn Commission, building the southwest of our dreams.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to...
The only tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the Federal Government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria. This is an evidence of 100% natural goodness. Eat healthy to live longer. Buy now and enjoy up to 20% discount.
Tomato paste, the taste of Nigeria.
Nivea Black and White Deodorant, now with 72-hour protection. But what does that mean? 3 cities in 3 days and no fear of sweat and odor. 120 dances with skin as smooth as the moves. Sweat, stain and odor protection. Nivea Black and White Deodorant. Skin is for embracing life. Nivea is for skin.
Confidence is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent Triple Protection 123. Its antibacterial action formula gives them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent Triple Protection 123.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we swear in colors, with undying demand. We make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Diversity is unique, we are more than the solution.
We are Nigeria, strengthened in unity, we know they carry love. We are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. Just before we bring in our guest for our conversation on staying safe online, let's take this background report by Joseph Oten.
We cannot do without the use of technology. Everyone should be cautious, should be careful. Like they said, if you don't trust it, don't click it.
A simple tap on an internet link and your information is compromised. This could even lead to your bank account completely wiped off. This is just one among several computer and internet-assisted crimes known as cybercrime, committed daily globally. It comes in very rare to economic situations. It's obvious a lot goes on just for mischief. Authorities in the country have taken serious steps to curb the menace, including the enactment of the Cybercrime Amendment Act of 2024. As law enforcement agencies like the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and the Nigeria Police Force having dedicated divisions to investigate these crimes, while the National Computer Emergency Response Team coordinates responses. The impact of the investigations and sensitizations have been massive, with several arrests and prosecutions of criminals, including foreigners. In August, Nigeria deported dozens of foreigners, including 50 Chinese. This brings the total repatriated convicted foreign nationals to 102 in recent times. For sure, Nigeria's digital economy has continued to grow. So does the complexity of its cybersecurity landscape, indicating that there is a growing need to adopt proactive cybersecurity defenses. On Good Morning Nigeria today, guests will shed more light on some of the defenses to help citizens and organizations stay safe online.
Right, that was Joseph Oseng giving us a background information on the topic for our conversation this morning. Don't forget, you can also join in our conversation as we go on with the program. We will display the number for you to send your messages to us on the screen, and we will take them. But right now, let me quickly introduce our guests who are right here in the studio. We have been joined by, of course, Abdul Hakim Ajijola, who's Chairman, African Union Cybersecurity Expert Group. He's also Chairman, Institute of Information Protection and Privacy Africa, and also chairing the Consultancy Support Services Limited. And he's right here with us this morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. And also with us, we have Rotimi Williams-Yomo. He's a cyber security analyst, and we're very glad to have you join us for the conversation.
Also joining us via Zoom from Lagos is Dr. Ashogbo Oluwayomi Godwin. Is the President, CEO, Global Tech Worldwide and Cybersecurity Expert. Dr. Godwin, it's good to have you join us on Good Morning Nigeria.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Good morning, Nigeria.
All right, let me start with Ajijola, because I know. I mean, you've been with us on this show. I can't remember how long now, and I've always known that you are, probably spend most of your time, in the cyberspace. So,
too much time.
So, but do you have concerns, trust issues using some of those devices?
Yes, I would argue that too many of us consider the internet like a room, but it's not a room, it's a big open space. And I think just to follow up on something the DPP said earlier, every click leaves a footprint. That said, particularly social media, a lot of young Nigerians in particular, they're using social media to push their business. They're using social media for advocacy. They're using social media to make political improvements, let me say. But at the same time, we need to understand that social media is like fire. Fire can cook your food. It can also burn your house. It can also burn your country. And so to that extent, I think that we need to encourage not just our youth, but all of us, not only to utilize social media, that is to use it well, but to make sure that those platforms don't use us.
But what about you? I just want to know your experience, because with your expertise in this area, I'm just wondering if you also have that concern. Do you also have that trust issues, using them?
I have significant concerns, and very specifically, I do not use WhatsApp at all.
Why?
It's not safe.
Really?
How?
Well, WhatsApp alone collects 18 pieces of operational data for every activity you do, whether it's a message, whether it's a text, whether it's a video. And it's called metadata. That's the technical jargon. But these operational data can tell a lot about you. So, for example, you just got a message that's, I don't know, from a gynecologist. The next thing you are WhatsApping maybe an abortion center. I don't need to know what is the precise content of the message, but from the activities and the information surrounding it, I can gain a lot about you. I specifically do not use Facebook on my phone. Right now, the Facebook is scanning not just what you post, but is scanning what's on your phone. So there are a lot of intrusive things going on with some of these platforms. But more importantly, we have to appreciate that under the 2018 U.S. Cloud Act, the U.S. government arrogated itself the power to basically obtain any information on any U.S.-owned platform. If you happen to be a U.S. citizen, then the U.S. Constitution technically applies, due process. If, like me and many of our viewers, we are not U.S. citizens, then those constitutional provisions and checks and balances do not apply. So if you are using Gmail, Hotmail, Outlook, Amazon Web Service, AWS, a lot of our services are on that. If you are using Facebook, WhatsApp, you name it, it's a US-owned platform, they have access to your data.
So what do you use? What about
Telegram,
Instagram?
You don't
oh
use
my God.
WhatsApp, you don't use Facebook, you don't use Instagram?
Yes, what do you use?
Okay,
What do you use?
for example, instead of Twitter or X, I use Blue Sky. Instead of Microsoft
which
Word,
one is Blue Sky again?
They are relatively more secure. Nothing is perfectly secure. Instead of WhatsApp, I use Signal, but I also use something called Session. And Session is a little more complicated, much more secure, but Signal, by and large, is much more secure than WhatsApp in terms of the Signal app. I'm not trying to market any of these things.
How come we don't know all this?
Maybe you are focused on your journalism specialities.
No,
Some
not
of us
me,
focus on
not
other.
me. A lot. We will get. We will get.
Okay.
We will get the messages. What's your experience? What are your concerns?
Tell us, how vulnerable are we?
Okay. Thank you very much. He mentioned certain things, and I think we share the same belief and the same opinion. For instance, you hardly see me on Facebook. I have an account there, but you hardly see me there.
On Facebook?
Yes. On X, most times I just go there maybe to...
Sorry. How is it that you have an account,
and
but you don't hardly see you? Just explain that. So
some of this account, I created them when I was way younger, and sometimes around 2006, 2007, thereabout, when I joined Facebook. But over time, as I get to learn more in the cybersecurity space, I started seeing some of the downsides, just like he mentioned, of these social media platforms. The number of information they collect. We are the bucket, because it is the data they collect from us that they sell. Because let's get to think of it. You are using this platform and they claim it's free. Are they making their money? So many ways they make their money. One of the ways they make their money is through you and I. The information we share. Now, one of the things they try to do, the way the social media algorithm works, is that they try as much as they can to keep you there. So one of the thing is like this: if you are on X and you spend a second, let's say looking at a football picture, and you spend another 10 seconds looking at a picture of a lady that is naked. At the end of the day, you get to see more of naked ladies.
Absolutely.
Just even without, you discover that even people you don't follow, platforms you don't follow, you get to see their posts.
Yeah.
You now get to see more of those kind of pictures. So they try to understand what you like, just so they can keep you more on these platforms. Yes. And because they want to keep you more on the platform, you started thinking of it this way. We are actually the market. They are trying to sell these things to us just so we can spend more time. And that is the reason why you see that you want to spend 10 minutes on X, you end up spending 1 hour on X. Because things that interest you keep popping up as you scroll through it. The question is, how secure are these platforms? There's a popular saying in the cybersecurity space that if it's 0 and 1, then it is vulnerable. Provided that thing is coded, right? 0 and 1, it makes it vulnerable. We know that there is no absolute security anywhere. But again, one of the ways we can be secure using this platform is to be mindful of how we use this platform and how long we stay on these platforms.
Wow.
Okay, I think yes, I think our guest, Dr. Ashogbo. Dr. Ashogbo, what are your? I mean, I'm getting frightened because by the time you go off WhatsApp, you go off Facebook, you go off all of these X and Twitter platforms, the world no longer becomes a global village. Now you become blind to yourself. So I'm just wondering, what's your own perspective?
Most of our activities now they're on WhatsApp,
Precisely.
I mean, our meetings,
when we
everything.
thought that WhatsApp is probably the best. I mean, in terms of safety and all that, and encrypted. Your messages are encrypted, so your messages are, yes, that your messages are encrypted, so they are safe. I mean, Doctor, what's your perspective?
Yes, I think the experts in the House have done justice to a large extent. But my own angle to the stay safe online will be looking at the email section, the email communications. As you all agree with me that the cyberspace is subdivided into 3 layers. Layer 1 is the surface web. The layer 2 is the deep web, while the layer 3 is the dark web. But a lot of people operate at the surface layer, and the bad actors, the cyber actors, operate at these 3 layers. And their main objective is to see how the well-meaning Nigerians can be a victim of their operations. The email, as I've said, is the central post office of all our communications. Even if you are using WhatsApp, without your email, your registration with them will not be completed. If you are using Signal, your communication will not be completed. Any of these social media platforms, you must enter your email. So if your email address or email box is not well secured, then you will be prone to attack. So I will be looking at how can you secure your email, being your central post office. If you permit me to let you know that if a message is sent by someone, the message goes to the server of that particular company before the server of that particular company send it to the server of the recipient. So if sender A sent how are you to send to receiver B, then the server of sender A received it first before moving the information to the server of the recipient. Between this section, attack comes in by the cyber actors. And how do you ensure that this very mail is secured? Because if your mail is hacked, everything about you will be hacked, irrespective of any social media platform you are using. So we advise that our emails should be well, secured, and that is the area and the angle I will be dwelling on this morning. So let me permit others to speak. Thank you.
No, Dr. Ashogbon, let's stay with you. Can you tell us how can we secure our email? I mean, before we come back to the studio, just give us a brief.
For instance, when a mail is sent, the mail is sent through a protocol. Let me paint a scenario of those days night post. I want to send a letter to my mother at the village. I will take it to the night post office, to the post office. And they go into the box, look at the destination address, and send it to my mother. This could take 3 days. It could take 1 week. It depends on the distance from where I drop the message. Unlike today, we now have, email, electronic mail. At your beck and call, you can send this mail, and this mail is sent through a protocol called SMTP. and it uses a port number 25. Why? The server at the other end is received by what we call POP3, Post Office Protocol version 3. And that one make use of, port 110. Now, attacker can come in between the sender and the receiver. When they come in from the sender's angle, we call it SMTP attack. When they come in from the, receiver's angle, we call it POP3 attack. Now, the question is, how do we now secure our email? Number one, there are two types of mail. One, private mail and public mail. The likes of Yahoo, they are public mail. The likes of Gmail, they are public mail. If you are doing anything, if you are having a very sensitive data, don't store it on any of these mails. Why? Because they are public mail. They are public environment, they can easily be attacked. If Google is attacked today, your mail will be attacked. If Yahoo is attacked today, your mail will be attacked. And that is why we advise that don't store sensitive information or send sensitive information through this public mail. Now, the other hand is the private mail. The private mail, this is owned by companies. For example, I can say info@globaltexworld.net. That is a private mail. I can store my information there. I can secure my information. I can do a whole lot of things with that information. Now, if you don't have a private company to host your private website or email, then what do you do for those who owns the public mail? Number one, make sure you enable two-factor authentication, 2FA. Make sure you enable two-factor authentication. This is very, very key. Number two, make sure before you open any attachment, ensure the attachment is verified. How do you verify the attachment? If you are there, you can pick your biro to write. We have a software called Virus Total. We call it Virus Total. VirusTotal.com. You go to that website, you copy the link of that attachment, paste it on Virus Total to verify what the attachment is all about. Take, for example, you have not applied for a job in a company and they are sending LPO to you that your LPO has been approved to your email. Do you apply for a contract? So what warranted you opening an LPO or an invoice on your mail? So if you are greedy, you fall a victim. Because I want to tell us that I'm an ethical hacker. When we develop a payload called virus or malicious software, the main headache of every hacker is how will this payload get to the victim? How will it get to the victim? That has been the headache of all hackers all over the world. So one of the ways they try to get it to the victim is through their email box by attaching it and send it to them. So don't open an attachment without verifying the attachment. Even if the mail is sent to you by a trusted person, by your MD, by anybody, because we have what we call man-in-the-middle attack. You make sure you verify it. And also verify and you discovered malicious options or link among the reports given to you, don't go further to open such mail. Number three, when you receive a threat mail that your email is about to be shut down, your email is affected, your email has a virus attack, click on this to rectify it. Don't click in. These are tricks of hackers. These are tricks of the cyber predators, because they knew very well that once you see such a threat information, you are going to click, and as you click that link, it moves you to their own fake site where they have, more tools to deal with you, to extract your information. I still have more, but let me allow us for now. Thank you.
Before we come back, please, before we come back to the studio, I know Ajijola and Rotimi will want to say a lot more. I'm just wondering, the perception, I may be wrong, is that mails like Yahoo and Gmail you've talked about, I mean, very common, commonly used by everyone. The perception is that these are very high-end, secured mail that have, the latest technology to prevent hacking. Although yes, we've heard one or twice when such attacks were recorded. But I mean, is this a wrong perception? How is it that the private mail system is more secure than this too?
Yeah, the private mail is more secured because there are a lot of protective measures the organizations would have put in place. Number two, the private mail is also secure because it is not the blue eyes of the cyber actors. Because, for instance, in private mail, maybe the highest numbers of mail you have there is 10, maximum 500. So they look at what would they derive from attacking such a mail or company. Unlike Gmail, for instance, that have over 1 billion users, it becomes the more the merrier. Like, for example, we have a tool called the Harvester. You can use Harvester as a tool to harvest the email of a company and see all the email. You get their username and password, and you log in from their back end. If they do that for 1 billion users, there is no how they will not find about 1 million users having one credit card information or the other. So I can say that the eyes of the hackers does not really go to the private organization, one, unlike the public, email. Number two, the private organization has a lot of tools to safeguard their own internet, to safeguard their own back end. Unlike public, they do as well, but the hackers over time has gained access into the public arena more than the private. And the private also is not always available, unlike the public that is the main target of the, of the cyber actors. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ashogbo. What the picture you have painted this morning is a bit scary, and it calls for a lot of concern, because if you say the Yahoo is not so safe and Gmail too, it's I don't know what we're going to run to now. Ajijola, I mean, you have listened to him, and what are the most common online scams, currently targeting, people, especially Nigerians? And do you agree with all the things that Dr. Ashogbo has reeled out?
Well, I think the most important thing that I think was left out of his intervention was all of these things start with us. It's about how, first and foremost, you must have a good password. If you're going to use your dog or your cat's name or your birthday, I mean, these are relatively easy things to guess. The second thing, again, when you point finger, three are pointing back at, it's back to us. We need to practice good cyber hygiene. What does this mean? You update regularly, you use your antivirus. What I mean is that, and again, passwords, look at where you live. You can build the wall, as high as you wish. But if your environment, that is, if your society, if your country is violent, that wall is not really going to help you. So you also have to take care of the broader issues. So there are societal functions. But at the same time, yes, it's good to live in an estate. It's good to have a wall around the estate. It's good to have a gate with security guards. It's good to have a wall maybe around your house. So these are things, like I said, these are the basic cyber hygiene things you can do. So to that extent. Now, in terms of your question, what are people targeting? At the end of the day, 90% of the time, it comes down to money. Where is the money? Finance sector. Whether you call it banks, insurance, fintechs. And of course, fintechs are particularly vulnerable because by and large, they are online.
Okay.
You see? But don't forget, banks have always been vulnerable to robbery. So it's not an IT issue per se. The other kind of bad actors you have, you also have basically what we would call nation-state actors. So for example, if you are from a government agency or a military agency or even a journalist, you may be perceived as having information that will be politically useful. So that could also mark you out as a target. Don't forget also that sometimes the bad actors are not actually bad people in the sense that they actually may be government people. So you also need to have those kind of checks and balances. And at the end of the day, I'd like to just quickly quote a young man, Opeyemi Onifade. He said something, a bush is simply an ungoverned garden, while a garden is a governed bush. Okay. And I think this is part of it, that bush or garden, it's governance. And so this comes back to our internet, our social media platforms. What are our governance regimes? Now, governance does not necessarily mean tightening things so that there's no innovation. You have to have innovation. But governance at least means that there are some do's, there are some don'ts, there are some expectations. For example, there are responsibilities of the individual, but also of the providers. Whether it is a public or private email, for example, if you are Shell or Nigerian military, privately, your email would be of interest to a lot of bad actors. So to that extent, for me, you need to start with the basics. You talk about, my takeaway for the audience is passwords. Also, I think we should look at the broader issue of data. And again, for me, many people say data is the new oil. I would modify that a bit and say data is the new soil, as in dirt. And whoever controls it controls the harvest. And so what you are seeing is why some of these platforms are becoming problematic is because there's a big push globally for people to develop AI-driven solutions. And big tech, in order to do AI well, needs a lot of data. Where does it get the data from? It gets it from you and I. And that is why, like Rotimi said, the algorithms, for example, on X, simply are monitoring and trying to accommodate to feed you what it thinks you need. But at the same time, quote unquote, in exchange, it's taking your data. And I think just to build on what Rotimi also had said earlier, if a product is free, please appreciate you are not the customer. You are the product being sold. It is your eyeballs for the advertisements that the marketers are selling.
Wow.
Wow. I honestly, I'm just lost. And I totally agree with you, because I was going to ask you, the gap. Because if you look at it, it's all about either, again, governance, you doing the right thing.
Yes.
It's not just that, okay, everything, the cyberspace is dangerous. It's not safe. It's all about what you do and that exactly, or do not do. And then we also talk about the governance. The governance. What are the rules? What steps are those who are overseeing the cyberspace? What else are they taking? What should the public know about how to use online materials? But let me even ask you before we even go further. Sometimes when you make stopovers at the airport or cafe or hotels, you're provided with free Wi-Fi and all that. Is that also, could that also be a trap for data collection?
Okay, it is a trap. I have always run campaigns on the use of public Wi-Fi's, right? There is absolutely nothing you're doing on a public Wi-Fi or what we call free Wi-Fi that someone with tools sophisticated enough with the skill set won't be, someone at the back end with the tool set and the skills won't be able to see all of the information, all of the transactions you're carrying out. So one of the things in those campaigns we run for use of public Wi-Fi is that mind what you do while using public Wi-Fi. For instance, if you must use public Wi-Fi, there is absolutely no reason why you should carry out things like internet banking or mobile transactions
on public Wi-Fi.
On public Wi-Fi. Though there is this exception that says if you must use it on with VPN. But again, how many of our users use VPNs? Sometimes they just want to quickly connect to, let's say their office, and they just look for a Wi-Fi close by and they connect. To them, it is fast. And one thing I've come to observe with Nigerians is that when they see the term free or public, they enjoy it so much. That is when they want to update all of their softwares. That's when they want to download all the things they need to download. And the more you spend time on these platforms, before now we used to say that if it is HTTP, it is not secured. Now there are platforms that is HTTPS that are still vulnerable. Remember I said initially that if it is coded in 0 and 1, it is vulnerable. I work as a cybersecurity analyst. We carry out VAPT every day for product and services. Even though these web applications, these platforms are being built and hosted the SSL certificate that enables the security in these platforms are included. It doesn't change the fact that maybe while coding some of these things, they are not properly coded. Like for instance, what we call input validations. They don't carry out all of these things properly. And when they don't carry it out properly, it means that this website at one point or the other will be vulnerable. It means someone with the right skill set can break this website. It means someone with, like recently we audited a particular website, and the part where users receive OTP to either change their password or to enable multi-factor authentication, it was vulnerable. So it's vulnerable to a brute force attack. It means someone can guess the OTP. There is no limit on it, so you can just keep trying as much as you can for that OTP. And we're using tools that will enable us try as much as we can. So the tool just kept trying, a particular tool kept trying, and it eventually got the OTP of that particular web application. So sometimes we think that provided that this website has HTTPS, it is all secure. But at the same time, we as the end users, we have our roles and responsibility as well to play. For instance, if you are using some of these platforms and you are also connecting to a public Wi-Fi, it means that someone with the right skill set, with the right tools, can eventually, Doctor mentioned recent, while he was talking, that there's what we call man in the middle attack. It is these tools and the skills that makes someone in the middle. What it means is that between the conversation from your computer and the server you're trying to connect to, someone is in between, modifying the request and the response. So while they are modifying it, you think you are getting this response from the server, and you are getting, not knowing that you are getting this request from the person in the middle. So at the same time, with the same skill, with the same tools and the same skill set, those encrypted information you have entered, like your card details, your credit card details. Let's say, for instance, you are making transaction online. You have entered your card details, your CVV, your expiry date, and your card PIN, and you think they are encrypted on this platform. Someone will still take time and decrypt all of these things.
Sorry, Rotimi, you know what you people are reeling out this morning is worrisome. I mean, I know few people that they have vowed that they will never use this app, or they will go straight to the bank and do their transaction. Don't come and tell me that I must use Apple, that kind of thing. Because this is one of the reasons why they have decided not to get themselves, be a member of all these, exposed to all these apps, all these, cyber crime. So what's the way out?
No, before you even go to the way out, before you go to the way out, like there's a lot they need to unpack for us. Yes, you're talking about, you've said so much, but what about the information, your very vital information that you store on your phone, your NIN number, your all those things, are they also at risk?
Well, provided you have it in a digital device, they're at risk. But again, these are some of the things we need to do, right? Doctor mentioned that you should update your softwares regularly. When there is a software, it means that the manufacturer or the developers of this product have seen that there is a gap. So they're trying to fix it. So they fix this bug, this security loopholes. They roll it out there as patch or security update. Users, our role now is update your applications, your softwares regularly. At the same time, it is also recommended.
How do you know when to update?
Most times when there is update, there is usually notification for those updates.
Okay.
You can just, for instance, I am an Android user. I use Android devices and Windows devices, Linux devices. Those are some of the ones I use. Now, when using all of these things, whenever there is update from Play Store, there is usually notifications. I've enabled notifications just so they notify me when I need to update my WhatsApp, any of these applications I have on my phone. At the same time, Windows software I always enable automatic updates. Not just, but even though it downloads, I don't install automatically. Sometimes you may still need to review based on the environment you are using those updates on.
Okay.
So update your softwares regularly. It is also important that you use antivirus softwares as well. Some of these antivirus softwares will help you in the sense that there are certain websites you want to go to. They will not allow you access those websites. Like in my organization, the kind of antivirus we use is an endpoint protection, an EDR rather. It is endpoint detection and response. And with the help of other technologies we have, when you click certain links that are malicious, it will block it and tell you that this particular URL you are going to is malicious. So use a good antivirus software that will help you prevent all of this phishing on malicious websites. At the same time, enable multi-factor authentication. We have shouted it again and again and again. I remember this month, the month of October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And the team also is staying safe online from the Cybersecurity Experts Association of Nigeria. Now we are trying to stay safe online, but one of the ways we stay safe online is to enable multi-factor authentication. These platforms have enabled multi-factor authentication. They have seen it because security is also evolving, just as this technology are evolving.
But even when you do the two-step verification, this thing, you still get, people still get hacked.
He mentioned initially that there is no absolute security anywhere, right? There's what we call, in the concept of, in the cyber security, there's what we call security hardening. So it's not absolute security, you just make it difficult to break into. So certain hackers that are trying to break into, when they discover that they are not finding it easy, they get frustrated and they move on to the next target. So you are not a victim. So by the time you enable multi-factor or two-factor authentication, two-factor is a subset of multi-factor authentication, right? Now, by the time you enable any of this, you have made it a bit difficult. It's another layer of security you have added to the platforms you are using. By the time you have added this to it, it means that you have made it difficult, and there is high probability that you will frustrate the person that is trying to crack or break into your account.
Another thing before we move away is, they say the heart is not so smart. Sometimes the brain too is not so smart. So people, can't remember so many things. So they just use one password, for all of their, transactions.
Especially the elderly, because
I think I would disagree. Not just the elderly.
Yeah, I'm just saying, because by the time you have different passwords for different platforms,
you can't remember.
Begin to remember them?
So you use one.
Just one.
So that is why we call why we use things like password managers.
Okay.
Even though they are not also 100% secure and safe.
Who are they? AI?
No. They are even
no,
Google
we're still going to go to AI now.
Even Google has a password manager. There are other password managers that we have there. You can use to generate and store password. Why I say it's not only the elderly. Recently, I was a friend, a young person, tried to add issues with a Gmail rather. It's a lady, and after everything, I was able to recover the password. Recovering the password, I was trying to change the password. So when trying to change the password, I just decided to check for some security features that Gmail has. While checking through, I discovered that on 27 accounts that is associated to that Gmail, she is using the same password. 27. Now, and she stored them in that place. The first thing I noticed was that the password was 1 week. 2, there is no two-factor authentication in that Gmail, and that Gmail had her card details attached to it. So that Gmail had her card details attached to it. She's using the same password for all social media platforms. So it means that if at any point anything happened to that Gmail, she has lost either all her social media account, and at the same time, her card details is at risk because she has saved it there. She used it to pay for something on one of the platforms.
So what should
it's not just the elderly. At the same time, we should also advocate it for the younger ones. If the younger ones know it better and they can manage it, they will be the one to transfer this knowledge and this concept to the elderly, because they don't want their father, their elderly ones, to be victim of all of this online fraudsters. So one of the things we recommend is use multiple password for different use different password for different accounts.
So how do you keep this password? When you
I recommend a password manager.
Okay, I get frustrated sometimes when you want to create a new password and they tell you this is weak, you know, this is that. Just explain it to us quickly before we move on.
Okay, one of the things I do is to have a password pattern. I don't use a password manager, but I have a password pattern. Though sometimes I get password fatigue, but I have a pattern in my head, and the pattern I have minimum 12 characters I use. Because before now, we used to see 8 character length is strong. But 8 character length is beginning to get weak. I would recommend 12 characters in this platform. Now, these 12 characters should have minimum 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase, alphanumeric, right? And special characters. Special characters and numbers. Now, what I do is to have a pattern in my head. Nothing related to my name, nothing related to my pet, nothing related to my address, nothing related to my date of birth, nothing related to...
So how do you remember?
So it is a pattern. I cannot say it on air.
Ha!
Let me build on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, let's say you believe Jesus is Lord. That's 3 words. What's the first?
J.
J. Of the second,
Lord.
I.
Okay.
L.
L.
So JIL could be your password. You could now say, what's the first character of the first word? J.
J.
What is the second character of the second word?
S.
And what is the third character of the third word?
R.
Exactly. So you see, right from that shot, you've created 3 theoretical. So you are the one who remember. That's what I think he calls the pattern. It's called a mnemonic. And the whole idea
It's called what?
A mnemonic.
Mnemonic.
The idea is that, so for example, I may say, I'm proud to be a Nigerian, you know, or I'm proud to be from Ikare, my hometown. That gives me the basic pattern, and I can create, and then of course, you would now add certain numbers and other characters as you see fit. That to me is much easier to remember. But if I could take a step back to something you said earlier, sir. All technology, I mean, fire has its risk, but all technology has its risk. All technology has its vulnerabilities. So your friend or colleague that says, I will not use an app, let him stop using a car. You have accidents with cars. Let him stop flying in an aeroplane. You have accidents with aeroplanes. I mean, even sabotage, you see. So I think that you have to weigh these things in life. And the truth of the matter is that, for example, your correspondent in reporting mentioned the word or the phrase digital economy. I, for one, I don't see a digital economy. I just see an economy. Because who today in our economy can do anything without technology? The banking system effectively is digital.
It's digital, yeah.
Government is becoming digital. So for me, I don't see that distinction of digital, I just see economy, you see. So at the end of the day, these things are just a fact of our life, and we do need to be very careful. We do need to, you can only start with yourself. So for example, do we share too much? When I say share too much, for example, I'm in a glass house, I send too many messages. But at the same time, the question is, do some of us share too much about ourselves? You know, what my wife did today, what my dog did yesterday, what my child... For example, our phones that we carry have become so sophisticated. The cameras are so sophisticated that you are warned when you are taking pictures, do not put your, the face of your finger up. Like we all like to do this.
Okay.
I'm guilty of this. Because from a distance, you can zoom in on the picture. It's of that quality. You can actually take the fingerprints.
Let's stop this thing. All this,
exactly.
Stop it.
Yes, when we are taking pictures. But my point is that wasn't a problem 5 years ago.
Yes.
It evolves. And I think the idea is that as people, as a society, we too must evolve. We must, and that's the reason we are happy to be here, because there needs to be an awareness. We don't want to scare everybody with gloom and doom. There are risks. There's risk, even just being alive is a risk.
Adijana, hold on.
Okay, ma'am.
Hold on. Let's bring in Dr. Godwin just before we take our break. But Dr. Godwin, quickly, please. I hear, Adijana and Rotibi, they've mentioned it, and
we have not even talked about AI.
No. Most times they tell you cloud, save this in the cloud, backdate your documents in the cloud. And I keep wondering, sometimes I just look up and say, where is this cloud, please? Can you explain this to us? And is it also at risk, to be hacked?
Can you please take the question again, please?
Adjola and Hakim and Rotimi, they've mentioned it in the course of our conversation. This cloud, and we're also advised backdate your documents, your photos, and all of those in the cloud. Sometimes I just look up, to the sky, and I'm like, where is this cloud we're talking about? And is it also at risk, of hacking?
Yes, when you talk about cloud in cybersecurity, we talk about the virtualization of the data centers of different network vendors. For instance, in Nigeria, we have OneGov. OneGov is a cloud service of Nigerian government powered by Galaxy Backbone. We also have Amazon Cloud that they call AWS. We also have the Microsoft Cloud that they call Azure. When we talk about cloud, we talk about their data center being used to deploy service needed at any place, anywhere. It is not necessarily that the information is stored in the cloud. No. The data Earth.
Oh dear. Okay, but maybe I hope we get back to him. And okay, let's take a break now. So when we come back, hopefully we would have resolved the glitch.
The Renewed Hope Initiative RHI presents the RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow. This national competition is in 3 categories. The household category is a tree planting competition amongst 11 frontline states in northern Nigeria. Each participating household in Adamawa, Borno, Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara states will plant a minimum of 1 tree to qualify, with a video evidence of before and after the tree planting exercise. 20 million naira will be awarded to the best household. Submission deadline is 20th December 2026. Community category will see local governments, local communities, schools, and NGOs reclaim and transform degraded or abandoned areas such as dump sites, landfills, parks, parks and their likes into green, vibrant gardens, parks and eco-friendly spaces. 50 million naira would be awarded to the overall best community group. Deadline for submission is 15th July 2026. State category will have all states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, excluding Enugu State, have a chance to address the growing threats to environmental sustainability and cleanliness. States will be judged based on the number of trees planted on major roads and inner streets and how clean they are. 100 million naira will be awarded to the best performing state. Already, Enugu State has 100 million naira for being RHI's model green state due to its greenery and cleanliness. Video evidence must be submitted by participating states on or before 20th December 2026. All entries must be directed to RHI Office, State House, Abuja, or email rhi.greenchallenge@statehouse.gov.ng. RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow.
All right, welcome back to the program. We're having a very lovely conversation. I don't know if we have Dr. Godwin online, but before we go back to him, I think Demola and I will read out some of the messages that we have that have been sent in. Demola, would you?
Yes. Okay. Let me read out some here so that they can respond before.
Yes.
So I don't have everything mobbled together. This one is from Prince Ezego. He says, good morning, producers. As long as we are incapable of inventing or originating our own social media applications, we remain consumers and potential consumers and victims to these social media producers, especially from America. Please note, the objective of social media inventions is to make money and nothing short of that. Everything is for merchandise, nothing more. Everyone is a victim. So what should we do? That's a question. So you just note that. Then this one says, these social media platforms assure us that our information is secure, that is privacy policy, and our messages are encrypted. But from today's discussion, it seems it's only on paper and not really practiced by these companies. This is from Abdul Ibrahim Iyagi from Lafia, Nasarawa State. He said, good morning, Nigeria. To begin with, many of the institutions still operate with outdated infrastructure and obsolete equipment that no longer meet global standards. Secondly, there should be a review of training curricula to include modern security challenges such as terrorism, cybercrime, human trafficking, and transnational organized crime. In addition, collaboration with international security training institutions will help bring global best practices to Nigeria. Moreover, welfare and motivation of trainees and instructors must not be overlooked. And this is from, he said, it happens to me. I mean, maybe he has fallen victim of this cyber crime. It happened to me too. I forgot my password. Okay, it's talking about the password issue now. I forgot my password. I keep changing. Thank you for this topic of staying safe online. It educated me more. I really appreciate. Thank you too. This one is greeting to you all at NTA, Madam Claire, and my man. My name is Demola. You people are doing wonderful work. Honestly, staying safe online need enough enlightenment from National Orientation Agency. Well, let them start informing both rural and urban area in all media houses. Radio, NTA is doing so well. Cyber security is now rampant in Nigeria. God bless Nigeria. This is from engineer Idris Nuran Adeniro. Rotimi, you want to respond to some of these comments and questions?
Okay. Starting from
before we come back to
starting from the part where we are consumers. It's unfortunate we are still consumers in 2025, right? I think we had a program on Saturday. We were talking about AI smart homes, smart home safety, the do's and don'ts, right? And somebody brought up a conversation, and we're talking about the CNIs using product from, let's say, countries like China, and looking at some of the regulations in China where they can still have access to some of these devices, irrespective of where these devices are sold to. And we started thinking of it, and one of the thoughts that came to my mind is, if we have local manufacturers in Nigeria where they produce this technology, we'll not have to go to China. So I think we'll beg we'll beg Nasini, because that is one of their mandates, to mandate local technology, to anything that is related to science and tech, right? So at the same time, we should encourage individuals, organizations in Nigeria. Let's see how we can build platforms where we can securely communicate within Nigeria. But at the same time, if these platforms are coming up, just like one of the comments said, that we still lack resources. If we want to do an analysis on how much it will cost to set up platforms like this, the infrastructure that will hold, is not just development alone, right? If you are developing, there are so many factors you put in place. Now, the infrastructure that will hold this information, the infrastructure that, let's say we have about 200 million Nigerians, the infrastructure that will house 200 million Nigerians at the same time. So you start thinking about the capacity, the bandwidth, and all of it. How much will it cost? Are we factoring that into our budget as a country? Are we mandating, or we should encourage private and public partnership, just so we can achieve some of these things? So these are some of the analysis we have to sit down and look at. And by the time we sit down and look at all of these things, then we start looking at how safe our information as Nigerians can be. Then we start looking at how we can implement the amended Act of Cybercrime 2024. We start looking at the Nigerian Data Protection Act of 2023 that is overseen by by the Commission.
That's wonderful, because you just talked about the 2024 amended Act. I was going to talk about that. I mean, but please just respond to this. Because most times you delete a message, they say delete for everyone.
Is it deleted?
Yes, or it's just like forgive, but you don't forget.
Okay, in cyber forensic, I remember when we were back then in school, FUT Mina, we were taking a course and we had to visit CS2. And one of the things we got to learn from cyber forensic is that, provided that information is on a digital space, even if you delete it, it is not actually deleted. Right? What it does is that you just leave a sigma notation that this space is now available for use. So there's so much, the part we are actually going into, there's so much information you can get when it comes to forensic. And that is why I usually advise people, even down to your phone and your car connecting while driving, it can serve as a means of gathering information about you in the law court.
When you connect your phone,
your mobile device, and your car connecting, even if it's by charging alone, connecting to the USB port to charge your mobile phone, it is enough to land you in jail.
How?
We'll talk about that. It's part of. Let me take. Yes, are there questions? Because there are other.
Okay,
yes.
Very quickly.
Yes.
I think Prince brought up a very important issue of dependencies. We have to appreciate there will always be dependencies. You can't get rid of them. But these dependencies are not just your dependency, for example, on foreign technology. Your dependency on electricity. You know, there are certain things like that. Also, I think it is important for our viewers to appreciate that when you post something on a platform like Facebook, it's like going to put your post on the billboard at Ojuelegba. I mean, everybody's going to see it. And unfortunately, no.
But those that are connected to you, because sometimes, you enable your privacy.
Yes. But the point is that you still run that risk, because I think, as one of the questionnaires said, this thing is about profit. And for example, today, it is well known that the biggest gatherers of intelligence information are no longer governments. It's the private sector. So we're in an age of surveillance capitalism. That is how Zuckerberg and others make their money, through surveillance. So at the end of the day, we all stand at the same battlefield. Our best defense really is verification, awareness, and trust. We have to do those things for ourselves.
Let's not forget Dr.
Yes,
Ashokbo,
yes, but
so
let's quickly take the
yes.
questions. This one is from Akinlabi Joseph. What if the virus total soup is also a hack designed to view our personal data? And how sure is how sure is Dr. Godwin about that the sign isn't also for scamming people? Dr. Godwin, if you're listening, this question is for you in just a moment. Now, Chukwu Eshike Oswe from Asaba, how can we know the messages are genuine when received on social media? How do we know that the messages we receive on social media are genuine? Thanks so much, Doctor. All you're saying is factual. This is Professor Christian Asu from Ibano local government area of Akwa Ibom State. Ibano. This is a good morning. On my Facebook, I receive a lot of strange pictures post tag, which I never posted myself. Some of these pictures are individuals I know in person. How do they gain access to my page? And how can I put stop to this? Abraham from Ebonyi State. Good morning. I love this program. Please, how do I know that I am on public saver, public data? This question is for Dr. Yes. Nandam Wuyep from Jos. This digital existence offers immense benefits, but comes with serious risks to your privacy and security. Protecting yourself requires understanding the threats and taking proactive steps to defend your data. But what is the biggest threat to cybersecurity in recent years? He asks. Thank you for your service. God bless Nigeria. Nandam Wuyep. Good morning. Well done, Mr. Rotimi. My question is it possible to track my ATM card through Play Store I linked it with? I subscribed to Facebook, but I'm concerned if anyone has access to it, or can it be tracked? Good morning. This morning topic is very important. It creates awareness on staying safe online, internet phishing and online related compromise calls for serious concern to all. People need to make their passwords secured. That's Yusuf from Bauchi. Oh my God. Okay, I just take this last one. Abdul Ibrahim Yaji from Lafia in Nasarawa State. A number of questions. How can you identify a fake social media profile? What are phishing emails and how can you recognize them? How can you avoid being scammed while shopping online? What are some warning signs on an online scam? What safe online habits should students develop for research communication? Some of these questions I know we have our guests have touched, but let's go to Dr. Ashogbo online, joining us via Zoom for some of his responses. Dr. Ashogbo, you want me to repeat some of the questions?
I think he heard.
All right, ma'am. The summary of all these questions lies on the security of our personal measures. It lies on the security of our personal measures. Before I come to answer those questions, I want to make some contributions to the ongoing discussion. Number one, in the area of public Wi-Fi, there is something we call wall driving. When hackers want to hack an environment, they bring in their router, enable their SSID, and change the SSID to the name of the organization. For instance, MMA 2, the Murtala Mohammed Airport 2. When you get to that environment, you see MMA, hotspot, and the like. So all we need to do is to name the SSID, which a layman call it hotspot, but technically we call it SSID, Service Set Identifier. So, and they make the port open. You do not need to enter password to access such a Wi-Fi. Please, if you are in the public domain and you find such hotspot, please don't accept it. Don't click on it. Once you get an environment and you are not asked to enter the password, this could be a threat. So don't click. So that is that on the public Wi-Fi. In addition to hacking of the bank app, my contribution in that regard is that the bank themselves cannot stop this very menace in our society. So the only person that can stop it is you as individual. And how do you solve it? Any account that you have your life savings, do not attach mobile banking system to it. Do not attach app to it. Do not attach SSD to it. Disable all these things from that account. Because in as much as this mechanism are attached to your bank account, it makes your bank account vulnerable. And the money there can be cleared in a twinkle of an eye. Another thing I want to contribute, when the ATM issue was mentioned, there are 3 informations on every ATM. And whoever that have this information have the ATM, not the plastic card in your hand. The PAN number, personal authentication number, which is 16 digits, the expiry date, and the CVV, which is credit verification value. That is the password. Anybody that has this with them can easily withdraw money from your account. How many apps do we have on platform today that request for your PIN? None of them request for PIN any longer. So if I have these 3 details and you have the ATM card in your hand in Abuja there, I am the owner of the money in the bank. So please, we should try to avoid compromising our credentials with third parties. We should avoid, compromising our credential with third party. That is just that area. And in addition to what I recommend on the email protection, you should make sure you sign out anytime you sign in your email. Also, avoid signing up your email account on a different device or on third-party device. Try as much as you can to remove your email. One thing is to sign out. Another thing is for you to remove your email from the list. So do that. And finally, on that area, there is a common in Nigeria. You to register it. When you want to register a platform, for instance, and you automate that platform, it is very wrong. Create another sign-up page entirely and use your email with a different password. But these days, you will see the company telling you to click on your email and automatically you find yourself in their environment. It simply means that your Gmail or Yahoo Mail has been transferred to the third-party company. In that case, they have all your details with them. If by tomorrow anything happened to them, your email will be compromised. I also want to give email has been compromised. You can know your email has been compromised by going to a website called Have I Been Pwned? Get to the site, Have I Been Pwned? You enter your email there and click. tell you if somebody else is in your email or not. Have I been PAN? PAN is spelled as PWNED.
Well, we just have to interject you now because we have less than 4 minutes to go on this program. Thank you so much. You have read out a lot of issues this morning, and we still have a lot to talk about. We have not even touched the AI issue, which I want Ajijola to just say something about this AI, this artificial intelligence that is being used by cyber criminals.
Well, if you thought it was difficult, it's going to get more difficult. The bottom line, I think, and this would be the takeaway to our viewers, critical thinking. Without that, you are going nowhere. Whether it's AI, whether it's social media, is the source official? Is it genuine? And sometimes you can tell. I mean, but there are times it is difficult.
Because they use AI for, you just see yourself speaking and you are not the one. They clone you and your voice, everything.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm publishing my late father's books as audiobooks, and I'm using my late son's voice to read his grandfather's books. Both of them are late. So it does have other purposes. But whether it's AI or anything else, you do need to look for inconsistencies. It's part of that awareness, critical thinking. And at the end of the day, there are outlets that are reputable. So when we talk about virus total, I mean, it is theoretically possible for somebody to clone it. But my point, I think Dr. Shogbo's point is that that's a credible site for checking. But there was something one of your listeners said that I think we did not emphasize enough. There is a need for constant and consistent review of curricula. I think this is crucial as a society. And also I think it's very crucial that as a society we try to collaborate more, whether it is with CISHAN, whether it is with government, whether it is with NTA. At the end of the day, we do need to practice multi-stakeholderism because no one group or organization can solve this problem alone. We have to work together.
Okay, good. Just to note that we have not touched on a lot of aspects about this. Yes, and I do hope that we'll have a second part of this conversation. We've not looked at the laws, we've not looked at AI in depth, and then we've not touched on other issues, deeper issues. I mean, curricular, like you said, we've not looked at it. But just your parting words. Do you think that data protection laws are strong enough? And what are the small but daily habits that we can embark on, for our own safety in 60 seconds or so?
Okay, before I attend to that, just to mention other tools that I use to verify some of this platform. I use tools like the urlscan.io. I use hybrid analysis and quite a number of them to verify the integrity of attachments, the integrity of websites, the integrity of, there's even WHOIS to even gather some information, whois.com, to gather quite a number of information about who registered that website, who owns that platform, and where it was registered. There are a lot that can be said when it comes to cyber security. I just wanted to mention something as well. I think
you have 30 seconds.
One of the message read that how you know that this
message.
Yes, this message. One of the way you detect phishing messages is it usually comes with sense of urgency.
Yes.
So much sense of urgency that you have to do this thing now.
I got one two days ago. I was telling my colleague.
And that's why they're always sending you OTPs and like send it back to them now. Now, when it comes to the laws in Nigeria, I think one of the things we need to do in Nigeria is to even implement the laws we have currently.
Okay.
We don't enforce the laws we have currently. Some of the laws we have, like I've looked at NDPC and the NDPA, that's Nigerian Data Protection and the NDPC. Do we really enforce this, what we have in that act, on organizations that even collect data of of the data controllers and the data subject? Do we even enforce what we have in that act?
Okay, what are the small daily things that we need to do, to protect us? Just quickly.
As individuals?
Yes, as individuals.
Well, I will still go back to what we have said earlier. Mind what you share online. Mind the amount of information you give out to people. Just like Doctor mentioned, the information you send on social media is like what you have pasted on a billboard out there.
Rotimi, yes, I have to thank you. I have to thank you, Rotimi. Thank you very much. Sorry, we will have a part 2, and then, of course, this is not my directive. The producer, the GM, will have to take that directive. But I'm sure with the depth of conversation we will have a part 2.
Yeah, well, we just want to thank you, all our viewers, and this one's Professor Magudu said today's program is quite educative, although I am elder, it is quite informative. So let's just thank Rotimi Williams Iyomo, cybersecurity analyst, member cybersecurity expert Association of Nigeria, CN. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. Also, Abdul Hakim Ajijola, Chairman, African Union Cybersecurity Experts Group, Chairman, Institute of Information Protection and Privacy Africa, Chairman, Consultancy Support Services Limited. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much
for your contribution.
Thank you.
And not to forget our Zoom guest, Dr. Ashogbo Oluwayomi Godwin, the President, CEO, Global Tech Worldwide, and Cybersecurity Expert. Dr. Ashogbo, thank you so much. We'll look forward to having you again when we have this discussion.
It's my pleasure. Thank you much, sir.
Well, that's Good Morning Nigeria for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Ademola Adiri. Stay safe online.
And I'm Claire Adelabu Abdurazak. Bye-bye. See you next week.